So after making the Batman video, I decided, you know what? Let me watch the Dark Knight Trilogy again because you know what? I liked it. What a fantastic idea that was. Now, that may have sounded sarcastic, but it really was a great idea.
I regret nothing!
However, it didn't take long for me to realize that these films are not how I remember them. Now, they're not terrible or anything, but they're not perfect either. Not as perfect as I once thought they were. But before we jump into this video, which I hope is the first of a 3-part installment, I'd like to issue a spoiler alert. I doubt it applies, but still, spoiler alert, I could say it. Anyway, I'd like to start with what I consider to be my biggest gripe with not only the films but the Batman story as a whole, and it lies at the genesis. Watching your family get gunned down by a common thug may give you a lot of incentive to put on a cape and take criminals down, but let's take a moment to consider the situation. Here we have one of the richest and oldest families in Gotham, and they'll just leave the theater through a back alley exit without security in a city riddled with crime and criminals. So what, billionaires in Gotham are just strolling about like yo, we ain't afraid of kidnappers or nothing. And I think it's quite odd that Bruce doesn't know where his father works. During their train ride to the theater, Bruce asks his father if he works at Wayne Enterprises, and the man replies,
Oh, I work at the hospital. I leave the running of our company to much better men.
But how could he not know this? The boy is what, 10, 12 years old? I don't know, I'm bad with ages. Anyway, do they really want us to believe that this has never come up before? All those late night shifts? I would imagine endless medical emergencies, and his employment at the hospital never came up. How about career day? Has his school never had a career day?
Because it's the fastest who gets paid, and it's the fastest who gets laid.
Batman's toys are awesome enough, ridiculous, but awesome nonetheless. And as we all know, he gets all his tech from Wayne Enterprises via Lucius. But how is it that nobody ever recognizes it as Wayne technology? Take the tumbler for instance, which is essentially a small tank. To develop such a piece of hardware, you would need an entire R&D department, not just one man. So when the Bat starts rolling around in a war vehicle, how is it that no one goes like, hey, didn't we design that for Wayne Enterprises? Anyway, once the tumbler got on the news, it'd be pretty hard to keep Mr. Wayne's secret identity a secret, and all 3 films suffer from this lapse in logic. However, the Batman 2022 film cleverly handles this plot point by insinuating that Bruce makes all his equipment himself, which I think is quite ingenious. So when Batman pays a visit to Sergeant Gordon, he reveals that they haven't been able to take down Falcone because
he's paid up with the right people.
he tells the Bat that all they need is leverage on a judge and a DA brave enough to prosecute. Now, leveraging a judge sounds complicated enough. So complicated that the few good apples we have done at the GCPD haven't been able to accomplish. That is until we discover that all they needed to bug the bastard was a handful of photos. I mean, the guy hangs out with known mobsters. Just get a camera, a good hiding spot, and take the damn pictures. That's what the Batman does. Anyway, let's move on to the movie's big reveal. So, if you've never seen the film and don't care about spoilers, here's a quick summary. When Bruce joins the League of Shadows, he meets Liam Neeson, aka Ducard, who trains him in the ways of the ninjutsu. However, once he learns the League's true purpose, he dumps them and burns down their house. Talk about a toxic relationship. Anyway, he flies back home in his private jet, and that doesn't seem relevant to the story. But he does, and starts fighting crime. But soon, the League shows up at his house with that Ducard guy leading the charge, only this time in a plot twist that has
tied up like a sailor's knot.
It is revealed that he is Ra's al Ghul. In fact, he's been Raz all along. And now you have to ask, why was he playing make-believe in the first place? Did he know that Bruce was going to turn on them? If so, then how? And what if Bruce did join up? How was he going to explain his deceit? Oh hey, sorry for lying about my identity earlier. I just didn't trust you. Okay, let's go kill everyone in your hometown. All your friends, your girlfriends, your neighbors, your homecoming date. Imagine that conversation and all that awkwardness. Also, his plans for Gotham have gaps in logic that I would like to explore. For example, how does a machine that vaporizes water not vaporize humans? As we all learned in science class, humans are 60% water. We're basically fish. So how is it that the machine has no effect on people, especially when you consider what he did to the ship? And another thing, if Dr. Crane has been soiling the city's water supply with his toxins, then how have people been keeping their wits about them? See, the toxin is absorbed through the lungs, and that's why the League needs the vaporizer. They vaporize the city's water supply and everybody goes overboard. However, Crane has been doing his bit for weeks now, so in theory, every time a person in Gotham boils water, takes a hot shower, or even makes tea, they should be going mad. And yet, we never see any of this, and it makes for a very good detective story. Think about it. Bruce comes home to discover people losing their shit. He teams up with Gordon to try and
strip away this mystery and expose its private parts.
But by the time they discover the truth, the end game is afoot. Before we wrap this up, I'd like to applaud Mr. Raz for coming up with such a masterful plan, creative and thoughtfully evil, just the way I like it. However, I do have one question. Why did they start vaporizing the city's water in the Narrows? It's made very clear that the men have lies under Wayne Tower, and that's its true target. If the machine gets there, the entire city is contaminated. So why not start at Wayne Tower? The movie itself is pretty enjoyable, and if you've never seen it, you should. I think I've mentioned the Batman 2022 film a couple of times, and if you'd like to hear my take on it, click this video right here. Well, that's it guys. If you've enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing, sharing, hitting the like button, leaving a comment, and as per usual, I hope to catch you on the
Flippity flip.